Welcome back, my lovelies. Welcome back to the Late Late Show. Now, yes. Now, my first guest is one of the most beautiful women in the world. Her films include The Unbearable Lightness of Being, Chocolat, and The English Patient, for which she won an Oscar. Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful Juliette Binoche. Oh, enchanté, madame.
Merci beaucoup, et vous aussi?
Thank you. That's about it. I'm done. Welcome to our show. And our show, did you just get in from Paris?
No, from New York, Tel Aviv, Rome, and Paris. I've been traveling quite a lot.
Are you going around selling this movie you're doing right now? You're doing the publicity?
I've been just finishing a movie, and we did the premiere in New York, and now tonight is the Los Angeles premiere.
Los Angeles premiere tonight. The movie's it's a difficult subject, the movie. It's called In My Country, isn't
It's a necessary subject.
Yeah, it's about, what it's about. Tell the folks what it's about.
It's about the TRC that Nelson Mandela...
The Truth and Reconciliation Committee.
Commission, yeah. They put together just...
In South Africa.
In South Africa to try and build a bridge between the apartheid system and the nowadays existence of the new South Africa. So it was a committee that allowed the victims and the perpetrators to say the truth, and for the victims to say what they've been through. And for the perpetrators to say...
Now, this is an unprecedented thing in history, isn't it, really, where you actually, after a war, rather than have a trial and recrimination, you actually say, OK, well, let's get together and... The people who are missing, I guess, the people who go missing on something like that.
That happened in Peru. That was the first TRC
Peru was the
ever.
first place that did it?
And it inspired the TRC in South Africa. And I think it should inspire other countries also, you know, between Afghanistan and Russia, or Palestinian and Israeli, or even...
But how does it work in a sense where, you know, people who have committed atrocities come out and in an open court they say, I was very, very bad, I'm sorry, I won't do it again?
They have to make choices, you know. It was about saying the truth, but then if you said the truth, do you go to justice? If people think they're going to go to justice, then they have to maybe not say the truth because they're frightened.
Yeah.
So the idea of saying the truth and reconcile and having compassion was a way to be more human in a way.
Do you think that works? Does that work in life if you just say...
For some people it did work. For some others, you know, there were more frustrated ones, and I mean, some perpetrators, they couldn't say I'm sorry.
They couldn't say they were sorry?
Some couldn't say it because they thought it was, you know, the education, the political choices of the time. But it's a big question mark, you know, even though you're told to do that, do you do it as a human being? What do you choose? So that's a big question about, you know, what our responsibility as a citizen, you know, towards the others.
How did it affect you personally, making a movie with such a serious subject?
It's, I had a year preparation, so I investigated, you know, inside of myself. I went to Algeria myself because being French, I thought, well... Yeah, the
French had the colony in Algeria.
And other places, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know.
Well, we were in South Africa too, you know, as the Dutch were, and the English.
Yeah,
so,
but not the Scottish. Well, actually the Scottish were. I know.
No, and it's true, at the beginning of the preparation, I felt, well, no, my character is not responsible. And, you know, because I'm playing a South African in the movie.
Right.
And at the end of the preparation time, I felt, well, yes.
You found out the French were involved in some nastiness?
And I tried and find inside of myself, how... Am I responsible for what happened in Algeria? And I feel, I think, yes, now I'm responsible.
You think that you are?
Yes, I am, and that's why I went there.
See, because I have this thing, I think about this a little bit sometimes. Every time I meet someone with the name Ferguson or MacDonald or with a Scottish name, 9 times out of 10 when I meet that person in America, they're African-American, which means it kind of tells you what my ancestors were up to. And I don't know. You know what I mean? No, I mean, it's kind of like creepy. You want to almost say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, but...
And you have to say it. That's the big thing.
Is that what you do? You say, I'm sorry?
I think it's the first step. If you don't put words on something that happened, on pain or something, you know, damaging something, or someone, you have to say, I am sorry, and I feel responsible, I feel awful, and how can I help?
Yeah.
You know, and it's still in South Africa, there's a lot to be done about the education for children and the way people live in shacks. You know, you go to Cape Town, for example, you have 2.5 million people living in shacks. And
how is it in South Africa?
You know that
now?
because you're from South.
No, I'm from Scotland. Everybody lives in a shack. You know,
yeah, but you have relatives, right?
I do. My grandmother's sister grew up in South Africa, and I was very angry at her because she was a white South African. I was growing up as a teenager. I was very angry anyway, but I was very angry at her for living there. But when I found out the reasons why she had lived there, it was her husband and she, and they had a young baby. They were in Palestine at the outbreak of the Second World War, and she was evacuated. The soldiers were left. She was evacuated back to Britain, but the Suez Canal was closed. So they were on a ship going around the south coast of Africa when the boat was torpedoed. And my granny, my Aunt Jenny my granny's sister, my Aunt Jenny went in the water and lost the baby in the water. And she went ashore and never moved. Wow. So she grew, you know, she had her family there. You know, her whole life was she lived in that country. They never found the body of the child.
Wow.
And I never knew this as a teenager. I just knew she was a white South African, and I was angry at her. And as I found out later, life is more complicated than perhaps political banners, and that's what kind of intrigues me about it.
One of the things too, I think, which is important in the movie, is not like saying, you know, there are evil people and good people. It's not about that. We have a lot of things inside us, and it's a matter of choosing, you know, where we want to go, and have the courage where we want to go.
So there are evil acts and good acts, and there are people.
Yeah, but then you can just make the bridge in order to transform it, you know. And I think that Afrikaners have been traumatized too by historical, you know, things. They went through the first concentration camp in 1920, so they came to the, you know, in 1948, they took the power, and they were so frightened of losing the power and being poor and being, and they were in the English at the time that you know, were responsible.
The English are always responsible. If ever I've got a problem, I always blame the English.
Well,
we have got to run. But listen, the movie's called In My Country, and it opens...
The 11th of March.
The 11th of March. It stars Juliette, Binoche. Good luck with that. In My Country. We'll be right back.